Good morning. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. I'm Barry Bryson, and we're going to begin today a study of the Beatitudes. And we're going to take a couple of sessions to introduce the Beatitudes. We're used to thinking of the Beatitudes as beginning with the phrase, blessed are the peacemakers, blessed are the meek. More modern translations have the word happy. I prefer the word blessed, but I grew up with the King James. I just think that aesthetically it sounds better, and I think it gets a little closer to the meaning of the word too. The word in Greek is makarios. I'm not sure exactly what Jesus was using in Aramaic when he was speaking, but the word the Holy Spirit left for us in Greek is makarios, and it was quite a well-known, well-used, well-worn word in Greek literature. It's usually associated with the happy endings of plays. Comedies had happy endings, which was the original definition of a comedy. Not that there were a lot of laughs, but that it had a happy ending as opposed to a tragedy, which had a tragic ending. and so that's the word for happy ending, which means more than just a sensation. We think of happiness often as a sensation that we feel, like when we bite into a York peppermint patty, or, the sun is up on a day that we need sunshine, or the rain comes whenever we need rain for our tomato plants, and we have that initial rush of feeling pleasure at things. And we use happiness to describe that. But we also use happiness to describe something deeper than just a sensation. And the Declaration of Independence, breaking with centuries of British common law, when our founding fathers wrote the document that is our reason to be as a country, says that God, our Creator, has endowed us with certain inalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. A proper Englishman would have said life, liberty, and property. But that's not what they said. It's not about your possessions. It's about, the right you have, or you ought to have, to pursue a productive and rewarding life. And I think that really gets at what the word makarios means. If it is it's the happy ending in which equilibrium is restored, justice is served, and people can serenely go on with the life they want to live. And that's what I believe the Beatitudes are getting at. The Beatitudes are found in Matthew chapter 5, beginning with verse 1, depending upon how you list them. They go on through verse 12, and those are the Beatitudes. It's the beginning of the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew's Gospel, which is a Jewish gospel written to explain Jesus in a Jewish setting to Jewish readers, people who know the Old Testament and who know the prophets, and who don't have to have things like Passover explained to them. There are 5 sermons of Jesus, 5 major sermons of Jesus, which is significant because there are 5 books of law. And the law itself, the Mosaic law, begins when Moses goes up on a mountain and brings down tablets of stone into which God has written commands, the 10 Commandments. These are brief sayings that will inform the community. And all the other laws, all 613 laws, really go back to those 10 Commandments and express those 10 Commandments in one way or another. Jesus goes up on a mountain, sits down to teach. Now the posture is significant because in every synagogue there was a chair for the teacher, and it was called Moses' seat. So he's sitting down, inhabiting Moses' seat. And from the mountain, he delivers his message. And he begins by giving a list of short sayings. But these are not commands. These are blessings. And the phrase that we associate with the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not, which is really only found in 5 of them, we have a completely different vision of righteousness, because it's not based upon don't do this. It's based upon you are happy if you are happy if you are. And yet those things that are blessings that are mentioned are not the things we would list, you know? Serenity, freedom from conflict, longevity, success. Those things are not mentioned in this list. What are mentioned? Grief, being merciful. You can't be merciful to somebody if they haven't done something terrible to you. Humility, hunger, being persecuted. Those are all things that are listed as blessings, and we are told why they are blessings. And when we think about this as readers, our question is how? How can these things possibly be blessings? And of course, the answer is they can't, not apart from Jesus. But in Jesus, this is all possible. And that's the point. The role of the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount, has an enormous agenda. He's going to teach us what true law keeping is. He's going to teach us how to have a personal, loving relationship with God that feeds us and that pleases God. He's going to tell us what it means to seek the kingdom first and how we build our lives on the rock that is truth, that is Him. He's going to teach us all these things, but He can't unless He teaches us to see first. He has to change our perception of the world so that we see through His eyes and we see the things that we think are truly blessings, like a nap in the afternoon, which can indeed be a blessing, or a vacation with the family to the beach. Those things are not essential to a blessed life. The things that are essential to a blessed life are the things that He mentions in the Beatitudes. And if He can't get us just to focus differently, then He's not going to be successful. It's like a magic eye puzzle. Those magic eye puzzles, and you look at them and they just are, patterns of colors that don't mean anything. But then when you learn to focus your eyes on a magic eye puzzle, and you can even do this with glasses, they tell you to, let your eyes go unfocused and then get close to it and then back up. And then this three-dimensional amazing picture emerges. And what your eye is training itself to do when you're backing up from this magic eye puzzle is to focus at a point beyond the page. And that's how the three-dimensional object pops. That's what Jesus is teaching us to do, to see beyond. He's teaching us to see beyond the surface of things in this life and see things as they really are. And that's what He accomplishes in the Beatitudes. We'll talk more about them next time. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes.